Gulf Coast on high alert as Idalia is quickly intensifying, expected to make landfall in the coming hours as a major hurricane.
And we're already seeing the effects of storm surge and high tide in Fort Myers, which is still recovering from Hurricane Ian.
The outer bands of the storm forming a dark cloud over the skies near Sarasota. More than half the counties in Florida are under a state of emergency, and time is running out for residents to get out. Florida's Big Bend area hasn't seen a storm of this magnitude in more than 170 years.
And the National Guard and South Florida crews are now in place, ready to respond to the aftermath.
Your Weather Authority team is tracking it all. We begin with Chief Certified Meteorologist Betty Davis and the new 11 p.m. advisory. Betty?
Maximum sustained winds at 110 miles per hour. It's almost a major hurricane once it gets over 110 miles per hour with those winds moving north at 18 miles per hour. And the eye is visible on this radar imagery. It is 125 miles west of Tampa, Florida. Forecast to make landfall tomorrow morning as a dangerous, destructive Category 4 hurricane. Maximum sustained winds of 130 miles per hour. That is the intensity forecast as it comes in right along the Big Bend of Florida. Thereafter, it curves northeastward, heads over South Georgia, on over toward the Carolina coast, spills out onto the western Atlantic waters. As a tropical storm, will have to be watched or monitored in the days ahead. Locally, we have had some gusty winds out there tonight. We had an earlier rain band. I am eyeing a rain band moving in along the southwest coast of Florida. We are expecting to get into more rain band action here tomorrow, as well as the blustery wind conditions continuing for our area too. Winds could gust 35 miles per hour or higher. But let's bring the discussion back to Idalia. Michael, such a powerful system. It is forecast to be at landfall, and right now it's pretty clear that Tampa is not going to get the eye of this hurricane.
Yeah, they'll have some impacts, Betty, and we're seeing those winds already pick up in Tampa, but this one's going to be a Big Bend hurricane. Take a look at the latest information from the National Hurricane Center. This is what Betty was just bringing you. Winds of 110 miles per hour. Category 3 winds start at 111 miles per hour. So this right on the edge of being what we would call a major hurricane. It's going to be major either way, but in terms of its wind classification. A few things I want to point out here. It's moving north at 18 miles per hour. We've seen that movement pretty much throughout the day. At some point, this system is going to bend to the east. For those people that live up here in the Panhandle, the Eastern Panhandle, in the state capital of Tallahassee, watching very nervously, because this one, if it gets close, and it will get close, it really just depends on when that turn happens and how close some of these big cities get to the core of this hurricane. Also notice it's moving now at 18 miles per hour. It's beginning to accelerate. That fastward movement going to bring it on shore here sometime probably between daybreak and lunchtime tomorrow. Here's the latest watches and warnings. These are the forecasts from the National Hurricane Center. Notice the cone itself is pretty skinny, but the warnings rather, for hurricane warnings, extend well away from where the cone is, and that extends all the way down to Tampa. So we're going to get some hurricane winds across a good stretch of Florida's Big Bend, Eastern Panhandle, and the western part of Florida, even going up into parts of southern Georgia. The big change this evening here is that this is forecast now to come in as a Category 4 hurricane. Holy mackerel. I mean, we've had so many of these. This would be the 7th one to hit the Gulf Coast since 2017, which is just astounding. This is something that we'll be following closely into the morning. We think that the landfall is probably going to be somewhere around Taylor, or Jefferson County over here, or Taylor County here. Notice Leon and McCulloch counties just to the west here of the cone. The big story, though, with this is going to be the water that this is going to bring. Up to 15 feet of catastrophic storm surge into the Big Bend of Florida, from Cedar Key to Steinhatchee to Sewanee. These areas, if you know anybody in these areas and they haven't left, please encourage them to do so. This is a tremendous amount of water on the level of what we saw with Hurricane Ian last year. So a lot that we'll be following here in the hours ahead. We'll be with you all night and through the morning.